Welcome. So my name is Catherine Franco, and I work for Diablo Valley College, Workforce Development and Career Education Programs. And my colleague here, I'll let him introduce himself.
Hi, I'm Jay Hyde, architect with Mogavero Architects in Sacramento, and also a volunteer with Calvo.
Slide change. Next slide.
I guess that's me. Background. California Building Officials has had a long ongoing program for career advancement, career training, career fairs. It started out as a job fair that we held at their annual business meeting. When the lockdowns came as a result of the pandemic, we started moving virtual, and the first year didn't quite work out. And then the next year, one of our associates moved to Pleasant Hill, which is right next to where Diablo Valley College is, reached out to Diablo Valley College, and we have started developing this program where we're working with the college to reach out to the next generation of code professionals, because quite frankly, we're aging out and our profession is in serious trouble getting people into it, and yet it's an exciting profession with a lot of career advancement. Next slide. Actually, I pretty much went through that already. Next slide. Okay, like everything, a career event was in person, but what we found as we work with Diablo Valley College is that we adopted a Zoom format. And the Zoom format meant that a lot of people could get together. We'd have an opening session, then we would meet for various breakout rooms, talk about sessions. Generally, it got down to about 10 people per room. You could switch your rooms, which made it really nice to have good, thoughtful conversation and get thorough question and answer sessions. Next. So this is really what the event is, and it's the Calvo and Diablo Valley College Building and Code Inspection Career Event. And it's not only the goal is not only to increase knowledge and awareness about careers and opportunities among building industry and professionals and college students, but what building officials actually do and how we do it. It's open to basically anybody, and it's not just limited to high schoolers, adult learners, and union members, but it's also set up for people who are already in the profession who think, I'm a plans examiner and I want to do something different. What's out there for me? Talked about yeah, that's it. Next slide. And
So
yes.
I think this is my slide.
Oh, yes.
So I just want to introduce myself again. I'm Catherine Franco, DVC Workforce. And just to give you a little idea, college workforce programs, they're tasked with supporting career education and/or career technical education programs for a college. We're involved in this initiative with Calvo because construction management, building inspection, drone technology, electrical, all of this falls under the umbrella of career technical education programs. DVC Workforce, we manage a bunch of grants. We manage the Strong Workforce Grant, we manage Perkins grants, amongst other ones. And this allows us the opportunity to partner with outside agencies and be able to pay for some things that maybe they're not able to do. We support recruitment of students into our programs. We help with marketing. We can pay for student retention and success efforts, equipment, software, all kinds of things that are going to either support students in getting their education, like getting them into the school, helping keep them in school, and supporting the programs in making sure that we are as aligned as possible with industry standards. We have a team of coordinators that focus on both student retention as well as internship development and industry engagement. So that's why this was a real natural partnership or collaboration for us when Calvo approached us in helping them to figure out how do we increase the number of professionals in this industry. So we jumped at the chance. We did do some targeted outreach. We had a lot of conversations with the Calbo team in 2020 before we opened up our first event in 2021. And we were trying to, brainstorm, who do we reach out to? Who are we looking to recruit for these professions? And they were telling us that they're happy to have people that are experienced in the construction industry, but also they want to build awareness amongst college students and high school students that these jobs are out there, that there are these really great paying jobs with all kinds of professional opportunities for growth. So we did reach out to like the building trades unions, private and public companies, local high schools, adult education programs, of course, our students, DVC, but we have two sister colleges as well, Los Medanos College and Contra Costa College. And so we also marketed to them as well. And then Calbo has a bunch of member agencies, and they were able to disseminate information about this event to them. So through emails and social media, and just word of mouth is how we marketed this program. Next slide. And the event structure, Jade touched on this. The event was really an hour and a half to 2 hours. We started it in the evening, like a 4:30 or a 5 o'clock. We didn't really put a time frame on it because we didn't want to rush people. So we did a keynote speaker and had a couple of people speak to a larger community of people, anywhere from usually 60 to 150 people in the Zoom room. And then we would break them out into separate little breakout rooms or sessions. And building officials, it really focused on just the pathway. How do they get into it? What do they do? What are the certifications like? Drone technology was a lot of fun. They did interactive drone demonstrations and really talked about how drone technology has been instrumental in helping them do this work. Education programs, we were able to have academic counselor from our college as well as our construction faculty department lead come in and answer questions about what the how you get through this program, and is it a year, is it 2 years, what kind of courses are you taking? Human resources, which was great because with human resources we were able to tell these interested candidates, applicants, this is what you need to do. This is what you should really have on your resume. These are the courses that you should be taking. This is what they're looking for. So it's an opportunity to connect with someone from HR from these companies to not just make a connection, but have them give you some honest feedback about what you need to do or what they're looking for in order for you to get your foot in the door. And then building plans and codes. So we also added a couple of additional ones. There was one for women in the industry. There was some feedback from some of the previous events that we held. So most recently, we did include women in the industry, and that was also well received because I know we're working on increasing that as well. Sessions were designed to be small and to be just like open format. So we had these usually about 5 to 7 breakout rooms, depending on how many people we could get to support it. And we had students bouncing in and out of rooms as they wanted to. So if all you were interested in was building officials and the career pathway, you could be in that one for an hour. There's a little presentation, and then they would have opportunities for Q&A. And because they were relatively small and people had the opportunity to kind of move in and out, it was informal and it was a really positive experience. The feedback that we got was amazing from the students and the professionals who participated in these events. Next slide. The key features of the breakout rooms, like I said, we wanted to keep them informal and we wanted to keep them as personalized as possible. We did have some live demos in some of them. The industry professionals did have a little bit of a lecture, like talking points that they went through in each of them, but we didn't do a formalized presentation because we wanted the participants to be able to move around through these spaces and over the, an hour or so, and not feel like they had to stay in there for an entire like PowerPoint presentation for 20 or 30 minutes, because not everyone was
Can I add something
interested
to
in
that real
that.
quick?
Oh,
Uh,
absolutely, Jay.
One thing that we found very important was that sometimes the rooms got stalled. There would be people there and they're not really talking. And it
Mhm.
was good to have a facilitator who wasn't part of the people assigned to the room, moving around through the various break rooms and asking questions and trying to make sure the conversation continued and went well.
Yes, absolutely. So when we did that, we had two dedicated facilitators per room who were industry experts. And then we had people bouncing around from room to room just to make sure that things were moving along. We did keep someone in the main space to help those participants who were having trouble navigating the breakout rooms get to where they needed to go. So they could hop into rooms by themselves, or they could come back into the main room and then we could place them in a room. So we really tried to serve all audiences. And what was nice is because it was virtual, we were able to serve people in our community, but there was also a lot of attendees from Southern California that were interested in this. So it was actually a lot better than having an in-person event. Next slide. Registration and logistics. So we started this in 2021. And like Jay had said, we originally were going to do this in person, but with COVID and, we all know that, we went online and it ended up working out really well. It was free. We didn't charge anything for this. We did have folks register through like a Google Doc or an MS form with their name and their email. Because we wanted to open this up with breakout rooms, we decided not to do a webinar format. We did just a regular Zoom format so we could use the breakout rooms and have more engagement. But because of this, we were worried about like Zoom bombing and things like that. So we decided to market this with a really great flyer. We put the QR code and a link to the Google Doc. They put their name and email in there. And then from that list, we sent them out the Zoom link. And so we reminded them and we communicated with them that way once they showed some interest in it. So that way we were able to control it as much as we thought we could. And it's worked for us for the last several
Yeah.
years. The facilitators, again, industry experts, they were recruited primarily by Calvo. DVC, we recruited the academic counselor and the faculty expert, but the partnership between DVC and Calvo was phenomenal. We met regularly and we all took on aspects of the coordination, and it just it worked very holistically. And obviously we're doing it still 5 years later. We're planning our one for 2025. We start planning for that one in January. Next slide.
Yeah.
And then this is just our event participation. We started planning in 2020 virtually. We hosted 2 events in 2021. In the spring of 2021, we had 155. It was huge. We were so excited. So then we were like, we have to have a fall one. So then we offered a fall one as well. But then after that, we just did an annual event. It did slow down a little bit in 22 and 23 with 55 and 65 participants. And then we bumped it back up again in 2024. So I'm not sure what the lull was, but we get pretty good participation in this event. Next slide. Jay, this is you.
Yes, I know. Uh, Basically, we got a lot of good feedback. It's exactly what we were hoping for. People learned a lot about the profession. I think we're running out of time, so next slide. And Calvo would recognize as a success. In fact, they set up a separate committee to handle just this event and to start promoting it among other jurisdictions and other colleges to see if we can't make this happen a couple places in the state, maybe 3 or 4 times a year. So that's next slide. So please contact us or Diablo Valley College if you have any questions or want to host something like this. Thank you.